Good morning, everyone. It is day 29 of lockdown, and yeah, we just heard from our president last night that South Africa has been doing really well in stopping the spread of the virus, but that we are still not out of danger, obviously, and so we still are to keep social distancing and to stay at home. Which brings me to my point of today. My first thought was, how am I going to handle not seeing friends, not going out for undetermined time right now, as we have no idea when we will actually be able to? And I was beginning to grumble and moan and complain. My birthday is coming up next month, and what if I have to spend it alone at home? Poor me, poor me. And suddenly the Spirit stopped me in my tracks and said, my people grumbled and moaned, and that cost them. And I want to talk about the Israelites. In Exodus, you read that the Lord was providing for them. He provided manna, he provided water, he did miraculous things. He blessed them, and yet they forgot and they chose to not trust in him and to complain and to moan and to grumble. And what did it cost them? Instead of 40 days in the wilderness, it took them 40 years. Yeah, that's a long time. I don't know about you, but I do not want this lockdown to be extended. 40 days is actually kind of interesting because it's quarantine. Quarantine comes from the word 40. So, yeah, I would rather stick to 40 days than 40 years. But my point is, it's very easy for us to complain and to look at the negative. But as soon as we lift our heads up, and I think of the psalm that says, I look up to the hills, to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from you, the maker of heaven and earth. And when we look into the face of Jesus, we forget about what is negative, and we get lost in his goodness. And I want to challenge us to count our blessings one by one, to be grateful for the little things, to appreciate the little things, and to make it a habit as a family to watch what we say, and instead of complaining and grumbling, cultivate an attitude of gratitude, because we know that God really is looking at our hearts in this time. And yeah, there's a lot of selfishness in our hearts, and there's a lot of complaining and moaning going on, even if we don't say it. I know it's happening because I'm one of them. But the Lord is kind enough to reveal it and to show me and show us that we do not have to be like the Israelites and forget his goodness and his faithfulness. And we should cultivate being thankful at all times. And that in itself will lift off the heaviness and the negativity. I guarantee it. So try this. Try counting at least one blessing, one positive thing each day for the next 40 days, and see how that will change your atmosphere. Blessings.